Hey everybody, it's Into the Stars, and today we're going to cover the science fiction novel, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Now, this particular science fiction novel was actually the basis for the movie Blade Runner, and I did some videos several months ago about the synchronicities between the Blade Runner who murdered his girlfriend and the Blade Runner movie. I also did synchronicities between that situation and this particular novel, which was based off of the movie Blade Runner. Now, there are several references to the Illuminati within this book, and I'm going to go over them today. They are not mild. These are direct references, and usually when we see this, we do see some type of foreshadowing or definite synchronicity. So we're going to discuss that today, you guys. So the first thing we're going to look at, I thought this was really interesting in looking at this book. Basically, the world has gone into destruction. There has been a world war, and there was a radioactive dust that covers the entire planet. Now, no one could have anticipated this dust. They make that clear in the novel here. And what ended up happening was people were incentivized to go off-world to the planet Mars to repopulate and to live there. Well, the big white elephant in the room is that Mars is really horrible and it sucks, but nobody knows this until they get there. So many have decided to actually stay on Earth, but they are looked down upon and they are incentivized to go off-world. But if they do not, the radiation takes over and they are considered subhuman. They lose rights and they lose their standing in the universe, so to speak. So there is a moral dilemma for those who stay behind. Now, those who go to Mars are given an android, and in the future in which this takes place, the androids cannot be delineated from the regular human beings. So many of the androids who end up going to Mars with their human counterparts end up trying to sneak back to Earth to live on Earth because it is so much better, even though it's mostly destroyed and covered in radioactive dust. So Becker is he's actually a police detective / bounty hunter, is on Earth, and he is supposed to track down these androids and kill them because many of them have created, have done crimes on Mars and killed other people. So that's the basic storyline, and we're going to get into the preface of this book, which I thought was extremely interesting. They mention a turtle, okay? And this was in Auckland, which explorer Captain Cook gave to the King of Tonga in 1977, and it died. It was 200 years old. Now, 1776 was the founding of this country, obviously, and also the founding of the Illuminati, as we all know. The animal, called Tumalila, died in Royal Palace ground in Tonga, okay? Capital of Nuku Alofa. The people of Tonga regarded the animal as a chief, and special keepers were appointed to look after it. It was blinded in a bushfire a few years ago. Now, the animal died, or this article came out in 1966. Now, the interesting thing is, if you look this up in Wikipedia, you will see that they marked the death of the animal in 1965. So this particular story was changed to 1966 to make a point. 966 is 666. Now, there's also a reference to the lines of death. This part of the book, they're talking about, he's explaining how he was a boy, and I don't know who this character is in this particular portion of the book, but he's discussing the fact that he was a boy and he was rescued by his foster parents, and he actually was on a raft. Frank and Cora Mercer had found him floating on an inflated rubber air rescue raft. And he says off the coast of New England, or had it been Mexico near the port of Tampico. He did not remember the circumstances. Childhood had been nice. He had loved all life, especially the animals, and in fact been able for a time to bring dead animals back as they had been. He lived with rabbits. Now we see this reference to Illuminati and rabbits, but first I'm going to show you this alignment. This is amazing. Mexico, Tampico, Mexico, and New England. Let's take a look at Google. This is Tampico, Mexico, and he says somewhere off the coast of Tampico, Mexico, or somewhere nearby it. Okay? We're going to zoom out. So if you're somewhere off the coast of Tampico, you're somewhere over here. This is the 188th ley line that connects Stonehenge to Teotihuacan, Mexico. And if you're somewhere off the coast here, and you're also somewhere off the coast of New England, you're somewhere over here. So the alignment he's giving is the line of death alignment, which is this line here, the 188th ley line. And I thought that was worth noting. So they talk about owls as well frequently. They are prized possession. They are of the highest value of animals for someone to own. And in this particular story, they talk about that is kind of a status symbol on Earth to own an animal, but only those who are very rich can own real animals. Most people own android counterparts of the animals, which look identical, but they themselves know that they're fake, and so once again, it's a status symbol. Now, if you look here, they say that the dust, the radioactive dust that happened after the World War, happened and killed the owls first. Okay? First, strangely, the owls had died. Then, it says that the time it had seemed almost funny, the fat, fluffy white birds lying here and there in yards and on streets, coming out no earlier than twilight, as they had while alive, the owls escaped notice. Medieval plagues had manifested themselves in a similar way, in the form of many dead rats. This plague, however, had descended from above. So there's our yin and yang. There is from above to the owl, which is Molech, sacrificing children. Owls, of course, the other birds followed. Okay, so this is saying something here, that the owls died first. It's showing the evil against the good. The plague descended from above, and it took the owls out. Now there's another portion in here where Colonel Decker is being seduced by the Rosen Corporation, and there is a Rosen Corporation. Now, at the end of this story, a representative from the Rosen Corporation kills Colonel Decker's pet goat. And it actually says pet goat. But before that, they tempt him with an owl. Okay? Now, Rosen Industries is located in Seattle, Washington in this book. But then Colonel Decker lives in San Francisco. So that is the setting for this book. So what we see is many synchronicities with what's going on in today's news. Of course, Gene Rosen is the individual who took the children in who ran away from Sandy Hook Elementary. Okay. Now, goes on, talks about how they show him this owl and that the owls had, gone extinct. And they actually tempt Decker with this owl because he's there to try and find out more about these androids called Nexus 6. Okay, that is their brand. And there are 6 of them that he has to track down, and that's another synchronicity. He has to track down 6 Nexus 6 androids, which sounds like 666. Okay? There's no accident that all of these things are in there. That's why I'm calling them out for you. Now, there's a cat named Horace in the book. And it is a cat that dies. And I thought that was of note as well, because Horus is, of course, the Egyptian god. They also mentioned animals in the book, and many of the animals that they mention have the typical Illuminati black and white, yin and yang division, and in their fur pattern or in their skin. So, for instance, a raccoon is talked about. It was also one of the first animals that died after the radioactive dust settled. Okay. Talk about a raccoon. They also talk about a wasp, and it's used actually in the tests that Decker uses to track down these androids, because once again he is a bounty hunter. He's tracking the 6 Nexus 6 androids. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I thought it would be of interest. I know I'd covered this book in the past, and I just wanted to get a little bit more in depth and in detail. It sounds like a great science fiction novel. I know that you can listen to it online through audiobook, which is what I did on my drive to go see my family during the holidays. But there are probably many, many more synchronicities, but I just wanted to get that out to you guys. So anyway, take care and be safe, you guys.